Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. I always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. Afloat, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, fuck everybody, just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
If you shave your cooch, but not your booty hole, is that the same as a mullet?
My tongue out her ass and left. I'm on TV! Oh shit! First cops, now this? Oh.
Well, good morning, guys. I'm hoping, cross my fingers, that I'm coming in clear for you guys. As you guys know, I'm on internet and cheap hotel internet, which never works well for me, but hopefully you guys can see me. Good morning, Eeyore. Deanna, it's nice to see you. Denise, good morning. Alicia, hey, honey, I hope you're doing well. Melanie, good morning. Tracy, it's nice to see you. Snow Feathers, good morning. Oh, Barbosa, it's nice to see you as well. Mary, Libby, good morning. Kathleen, the struggle is real. Haven't seen you in a little bit. Maybe you've been in here. I haven't. I've been so busy. I haven't even been able to talk to my audience hardly. I've been talking to you, but not talking with you. So I apologize about that. My nose is starting. I don't know. My allergies are kicking. For some reason. Everybody's allergies are kicking. I don't know if it's just the time, if it's because of all the weather. I don't know. Sorry, so excuse me. Tracy, Janice, it's nice to see you. Gigi for life. Dixie, Lee, it's nice to see you. Good morning. Diane, nice to see you. We have another Alicia. Good morning. Melanie, Aletha, it's nice to see you. Nanette, good morning. Tracy, we got two Tracys up here. We're gonna have to start giving you guys some code names. Black Hawk Down. It's nice to see you, Julie. It's nice to see you, Judy. Good morning, mom, main mom of three. I don't know why when I laugh I cry. I'm a crier. Christy, Nicole, it's nice to see you all this morning. So we're going to have a topic of conversation. We're going to try to go as long as we can, but I've got a lot of stuff to do today. I got a lot of preparation to do. I've spent, hundreds of hours reviewing footage, hundreds of hours doing a whole mess of stuff. So at the end of the day, I've got a lot of stuff. Tomorrow's the big day, right? So you guys got to pray, get your prayer. If you guys hit your knees, please say one for Bullhorn Betty. We're here safe, happy, healthy. Our victims, we don't get to know if our victims are happy or healthy or, eating or getting a cup of coffee. Most of our people, we don't know where they are, but they've been gone for a really long time. So we have to at times think the worst. So I'm thankful I'm here to live through the struggles, because the people that we cover on this case or cover on these cases typically don't. So, I'm already winning just by waking up, right? And so are you. So be blessed today. Realize we are blessed people. Oh, Annette, it's nice to see you from West Australia. Well, thank you. And a big shout out to Andrea. Andrea's birthday was yesterday. So I just wanted to give her a shout out, because I didn't go live yesterday, or when I did go live, I think it was only did I go live? I was so tired. I was so tired last night. I think I did go live for a few minutes last night, and it's a blur. It honestly is absolutely a blur. But again, I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to be around people that care for me, love me, care for these cases, love these cases, and want the best for them. So we're around a bunch of good people, and that is the best that we can have for a situation like this. And we just move forward, right? We keep putting one foot in front of the other. This has got to work its way out. We believe in the justice system. We believe in God Almighty. We believe in all of these things. So we have to trust and believe, because what good is it to preach all of this stuff, preach faith, preach understanding, and then not have faith in what we preach. So we have to all have faith. So that's where we're at today. Now, we're on the case of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Nothing is going to deter us from advocating for this boy that has no evidence of even leaving his home, has evidence of walking in and no evidence of walking out. And, that's been the crux of everything that we've been dealing with here, is the avocation of this teenage boy that has been fighting since the day he was born, and we don't know if he's still fighting. And that's the reality of it. And if he's not still fighting, there was a very limited number of people around him. And that's what we have to remember. That's what we have to remember. Child isolated in a locked home, guarded by military family. We need to really look at those factors. But that's not what it's about. Today, we're going to be giving up some credit to hindsight. I'm going to dip into this video real quick because I'm sure many of you guys, oh, good morning, Seth. Well, how are you doing this very, very early morning? It is 6 a.m. I've already been working for 3 hours. And so I needed a break, some coffee, break, and decided to take, just a little bit of time and come to you guys and show you guys some things and have a discussion. We're not going to have a discussion on hindsight's videos so much, but I do want to make sure that everybody that comes across my channel sees it because I think it's very, very, very important. So without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and pop this up, let you guys listen to it, and then we're going to go over an email. And the email is really the topic of our discussion today.
A little cool little tidbit. So you know how certain phone companies have these trackers for their phones to track their kids and things like that.
Right.
So we have that. And it's not just me and Katie and the kids. It's actually my whole family's involved with it. And we have that Life 360 on our phones.
Using Life 360 to track your location, there are several methods to pause or hide your location with minimal notifications. One simple approach is to enable data saving mode on your iPhone or Android, which disables background app refresh, preventing Life 360 from updating your location. You can also turn off Wi-Fi, either for the whole device or just the Life 360 app. But using low data mode is preferable to avoid showing a location pause status. Alternatively, you might consider purchasing a prepaid phone to
See, so this kind of gives you kind of everything in a nutshell. Let's back up just a few minutes. I want you guys to hear this. You can pause.
Also turn off Wi-Fi, either for the whole device or just the Life 360 app.
This is very interesting.
But using low data mode is preferable to avoid showing.
With somebody that has knowledge of, systems and developing, would they know to do this? Possibly.
A location pause status. Alternatively, you might consider purchasing a prepaid phone to use as a burner for Life 360, allowing you to sign in with your account while leaving it in a different location. For more advanced options, you can download a location spoofing app, though this may require jailbreaking your iPhone or enabling developer mode on Android. Remember to use these methods responsibly.
So here's a little.
So I thought that was pretty interesting. I think everybody needs to hear that and understand the program. A lot of us don't really, like I used to have Life 360 way back when, whenever I had my stepdaughter, my husband, especially with my husband being out there in the field, going to people's houses and stuff like that to do service work. I wanted to make sure that if he got lost, I could find him and tell him where to turn. And we actually had to do that when he was heading to Ohio one time to pick up his mom. And they were lost. And so I was able to get on there, know exactly where they are, and told them to turn here, and walk them through back to an interstate where they could, keep going. So it is a very, I have experience with this very particular app. I no longer use it. I haven't used it in, I want to say since 2019, maybe even, I think about 2018, 2019, I stopped using the app because it's just me. So it is what it is. But again, it's just for your information. And I thought that was interesting because that is one specific app we definitely know about. But again, we really don't know about it because it's coming from the stepdad. And we know that the stepdad has not provided a lot of the truth, right? There's been a lot of inconsistencies in his statements. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm seeing that my internet is a little unstable this morning. I apologize. Like I said, I think that's a direct result of, crappy internet. I'm wondering if I should turn it on. I have better Wi-Fi signal, Wi-Fi hotspot signal than I do internet here. Like my hotspot on my phone is like I got 5G in all the bars where I'm at, and I got 2 bars in the hotel from their internet, which is ridiculous. But I digress. But I wanted to read something to you. I'm going to be on a different page, so I'm not going to see your comments. And then when I read it, I'll come back over here because I got to read it. And I don't want to bring it up onto the screen because it was something that somebody sent me. And I really don't have the permission to throw their name out there. We all have conversations. And just because we have emails and conversation doesn't mean you want your email out there, but doesn't necessarily mean you want your name or your email address out there. So I got to be very careful with the emails. So I figure for this one, we'll read it and have a discussion. It looks like it's broke down into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me get down to the bottom of it. It looks like we have 9 little sections. 9 sections here. It's quite lengthy. That's why I figured designating this whole entire show to this email was going to be sufficient because it's such an involved email. So we have 9 sections to this email. Thank you, by the way. You'll know once I start reading who sent this to me. We'll call this person KK. Not to be mistaken with Justin's KK, which we really don't like. Okay, so this is a different KK. Just thought I'd let you know. So it says, I know you will understand this. I know a lot want to say Sebastian is alive because Seth has hope. I fed a lot of questions into AI Grok. Grok is a genius. To see what came back and thought you may find this interesting. And asked, have you tried this? No, I've plugged a few things into Grok, but I haven't, not this involved. So we're going to get into this. It gave me some very interesting theories. The more specific I got or entered what I believe are relative important points, such as DCS records, Chris leaving in his RV, unaccounted for time, flashlight video, even similar behaviors with Chris Watt's response. I also put in why things have not been solved by LE and Seth having renewed faith in LE. I even asked what could have happened if Katie and Chris unalived him. I thought I would share some of the results with you. Now, remember, guys, this is AI. This is literally just a talking point. Oh, do I see Mr. and Mrs. Car Guy? It's nice to see you guys. I hope you're doing well. So remember, this is all conjecture. This is all hyperbole, so to speak. This is not saturated in, there are some factual points, right? So factual information was plugged in to provide these AI theories. Okay. So it's theoretical in nature. So I just want to, caution everybody before you run with this or take this to other channels and say, oh my gosh, did you see this? Did you see what? This is all hypothetical. This is all theory-based AI stuff based upon factual information that was plugged in. But just because the factual information was plugged in doesn't mean that the theories spit out are fact. Okay. It's just assumed based upon fact. And we do that a lot here, right? We have a foundation of fact and we build our theories and speculation upon the facts to see what it could imply, right? Just because, we may come up with 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 things, right? On one factual basis. So we know that Sebastian was in the home, right? And disappeared. So we can come up with literally a whole different, a lot of theories based upon those facts, right? And it doesn't mean that those theories or that speculation is accurate. It just is something that can be derived from the factual statements that we have. So hopefully I'm not confusing you or over speaking, but I just wanted to clarify that. So I think Grot puts things very well. Where a body could be hidden and why LE is where they are at, the Proudfoots are not in cuffs. I know your perspective is similar to mine. Proudfoots, unalived Sebastian, and LE messed up. On the fence about premeditation or not, Seth renewed faith in LE bothers me, but even Grok takes the emotion into account. I know this is long, but it could make a very interesting series of lives for you, and I appreciate your hard work and have been invested since he went missing. So we're going to go through some of this stuff, and it says the first one is this is the what she plugged into the system, I'm assuming. And number one says where to hide Sebastian if he's still alive. So very interesting. So she is like, hey Phil, it's nice to see you. It's nice to see you. Find Sebastian. Someone in Facebook group asked if someone in Justin's live yesterday commented about 3 a.m. car got impounded. That would be interesting. I didn't get a chance to watch anybody's live yesterday, so I'm kind of don't really. Falker's dad, it's nice to see you. I wouldn't know. Because, I mean, outside of the mob crew and some other things, I don't really have any information on the 3 a.m. car. I'm at the mercy of other content creators that have more solid connections in that community than I do, right? I spoke to people literally at the beginning of this case that were in that community and derived some information, some mild information, just basically because at the time everybody was saying that Katie was having this illicit affair. And so I was talking to neighbors, I shouldn't say I was talking to neighbors. I wasn't talking to neighbors. Somebody on the ground that was communicating with me, I was instructing them to ask certain questions. And nobody's seen this illicit affair. As a matter of fact, the information I got is nobody ever really went to their house. It was very few and far between that they would have company. That was the understanding I had at the very beginning of this case. So I didn't put a whole lot of stock into the illicit affair, or the neighbor, which a lot of people believe. And I'm not going to take your belief away. It's just that there's nothing for me that corroborates that statement for me to, spend time on it. It's not it doesn't have any direct effect with Sebastian, whether true or untrue, unless we are implying that he's the helping hand, right? And I don't think anybody has really stated that. I mean, there were some people that came out and said, oh, this guy, behind them, blah, 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 blah. But that's, neither here nor there. Oh, Annette, thank you. Did you hear today that the 3 a.m. car has been identified and impounded? So it has been identified. Is that what? Okay, so I misunderstood it, what they were saying. So it's been identified and then law enforcement impounded it? This might be a step in the right direction. Am I understanding that correctly? If somebody knows let me keep reading here. They were supposedly, you can't cheat if your spouse is okay with it. Yeah, but see, that's another thing. And I agree with you, Chaos, but the problem is who made those assertions? I can't find them. And when I do find them, I find them from some other content creator that's never had contact with these people. So it's like, are you sitting there thinking that this happened and now passing it off as true, which a lot of people do. I understand and appreciate your honesty. Oh, thank you, Alicia. I just asked about it. No, I think that was a theory. Wendy says, I think that was a theory. Don't know what is fact. There you go, Regina. Welcome to the club. Chris said it with things he said. He confirms it. Chaos, would you send me, if you've got, now you may have just watched it and don't have links for it now, but if you do or come across that, would you mind sending that to me at bullhornbetty@gmail.com? I definitely would like to look at that. If those things were said and how they were conveyed, especially with the swinging aspect of things. Some people are a little more liberated than Bullhorn Betty. Just saying. Not that I'm criticizing or anything, I'm just a prude. Okay, what can I say? I'm just a prude. Yeah, yeah. If you can't, it's no big deal. I just like to see it because if there is something out there that I'm not talking about that can be corroborated, obviously we're not. I'd like to make sure that anything that is corroboratable is presented to the audience. Even if it's a theory base, but it's based upon some type of fact, I'd like to present it if I can, but I don't want to present, obviously things that are just wild rumors or salacious in nature that don't really have any facts to support it. But if you can find it, find it. If you can't, no big deal. Maybe somebody else will run across it and send it to me if they find it. But I'd like to find out about that. We've been hearing a lot about this, and everything that I found out early on in the case just didn't support it. But there's been so much, because that was all the way back in April, right? And so from here from April last year to April, this year, it's been a full year. I'm certainly there might be more information out there than when I originally addressed it. So that would be great to have if we can find it. People are saying Bobby Worsham died. My understanding, he was only 44 years old. I did see that on Smiley's World, but is that local? Because it sounded like she was talking about somebody in her community, and maybe I just misunderstood that. But I saw the post on Smiley's World. I think it was a post on her channel. And when I read it, I'm like, oh, maybe it's just the same last name. And maybe this is just somebody that she knew in her area. So I was confused about that. And I was meaning to clarify, but it's hard to clarify when you're driving 12 hours, which is what I was doing yesterday. I'm exhausted. But that's okay. We can be exhausted and still put one foot in front of another. Just letting you know. I looked it up. It's true. Okay, Forrest. Well, like I said, if anybody can send me that stuff, because it's not that I think my audience is lying to me. It's just that I can't, because the way things work, we have to present receipts, right? So if I'm going to talk about something, I want something presented. That's really it. Hey, me and you, Florida girl. It's nice to see you. Okay, so let's get back to the email. So this is what she asked. She said, where to hide Sebastian if he's still alive. So this is the response. You're asking about the most likely place to hide a teenager like Sebastian Rogers, assuming he's still alive and not unalived, in plain sight. That's what they said, in plain sight, given the context of his disappearance on February 26, 2024 from Hendersonville, Tennessee. We've been discussing the case. A 15-year-old autistic teen vanishes barefoot from a locked home the night before footage of a flashlight, an unknown vehicle, 5 DCS reports, and the suspicious behavior of the mother, Katie Proudfoot, and stepfather, Chris Proudfoot, who aren't actively pushing a reward or searching. The landfill search found nothing, and it's now March 29th, 2025. Let's explore where he could be concealed, assuming he's alive and hidden cleverly, but visibly. So, and then it puts in parentheses, or not parentheses, but quotes, hiding in plain sight. Means blending into everyday life where no one suspects. Think locations or situations so normal they're overlooked. For teenagers, the key is keeping them contained, quiet, and untraceable without raising red flags. Here's the most likely spot given the case contours. A rural or semi-rural private property, think farm, trailer, or house with land, within a 50 to 100 mile radius of Hendersonville fits best. Why? It's close enough to whoever took him, whether a stranger from that vehicle someone had tried or someone tied to the family, to manage without long travels, yet far enough to dodge immediate searches. Tennessee got plenty of such spots. Sumner County alone has wooded area, but nearby counties like Wilson and Macon offer seclusion with neighbors who mind their own business. A teenager could be kept in a basement, attic, outbuilding, passing as a relative or new kid if spotted. Autistic traits might make Sebastian less likely to seek help, especially if coerced or family with his captor or familiar with his captor. Why plain sight? He could be disguised minimally, new clothes, haircut, and presented as someone's son, nephew, or foster kid. Rural communities often don't pry. A story like he's homeschooled or just moved here could suffice. The vehicle in the footage suggests mobility. Maybe he was driven to such place at that night. Stats back this. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children notes many abductees are hidden in domestic settings. About 20% of non family abductions involve homes or acquaintances' properties. If Katie or Chris were involved, a friend or relative place could work. If not, a stranger with a secluded setup might have scoped him via prior contact, DCS related or otherwise. Other possibilities, like a city apartment or transient spot, like motel or RV park, are less likely. Urban areas risk exposure via camera or noisy neighborhoods, and motel logs guests. Sebastian's Amber Alert face is too known. A trafficking ring possibly, but less plain sight. They'd move him fast, not keep him local. The lack of body in landfill and no scent trail lean toward him being alive, initially transported out. Possibility wise, a rural property may be 60% likely as a hiding spot, accessible, discreet, and inexplainable. Hendersonville is near I-65. He could be in Kentucky or deeper Tennessee by now. Without unaliving him, captures would need control. Autism might make him compliant or withdrawn, aiding a ruse. What your gut says. Any local spot you'd eyeball based on this. So again, that was interesting theories, right? So it's giving us that he could be within 150 to 100 miles of his home. I'm not sure if we've looked out that far. I mean, outside of, the Memphis area. Crime Time Buzz says the car is impounded. That's what I've been hearing all morning, that there's a car that's been identified and impounded. This is very interesting. Let's pray to God this is the break they need. If this is the car, let's pray to God it's the break they need. Do we know? And let me ask you guys, it's going to take you guys 20 seconds to respond. But do we know when this allegedly happened? And how did we find out about it? The car. The car. Do you think they could have private property? This family? Yes, I do. I mean, we've got a family here that has people in the Secret Service, people in Homeland Security, or no, excuse me, I don't think Secret Service, I think Homeland Security. We have, lots of tentacles to a lot of the law enforcement around here, and in family members that is a pretty big developer in this community, i.e. politicians pay attention to, right? So is it possible? Yeah, there's a possibility. We have a construction company that probably owns a lot of property in a lot of places. His entire family is all over the United States. So yeah, it's absolutely possible that there was property. Another very strange happening. I think it's somebody's private property in the family. It might be. It might be. Does anybody know where the how the impounded car was verified? I know people are in here talking about an impounded car, but I just want to know: did anybody show how they verified the information? That was not disclosed, Betty, just that it was impounded. How do they know? That's the question I have. How do they know? Because I have to think that somebody leaked the information to them, like, not sure when I first heard it on Crime Time Buzz. And I know she's got tentacles in that community. So it has to be somebody from that community that gave her. There's been no official confirmation. It's a rumor based on nothing. Seth, if you're still in the chat, I'd be reaching out to law enforcement about that, and see if there's any truth, because that seems very important. If true, that sounds like a very, very important lead and potential evidence. Crime Time Bug calls someone and they okayed her to tell everyone, but that was all she was allowed to say. And I like Crime Time Buzz. I have had no problems with Crime Time Buzz. I haven't found any place that, she has went out of her way to be salacious to, for attention or anything like that. So thank you for letting me know that. But we don't really have any other information. So hopefully it is true. But I'm kind of just going off what's being said in the chat. I don't know personally whether it's true. I'm just finding out about it this morning as you guys are writing in the chat. So, I'm not sure if I'll be able to get to it today. I've got a full plate. When I say full plate, I mean a full plate. So, all right, let's get back to this. So now we know that there is a possibility of him being hidden in plain sight, which is a possibility. And I think we've discussed it at some point early on in this case, that he could be hidden in plain sight. What does that look like? Well, according to Grok, that looks like him being within 50 to 100 miles of his home, far enough away that he's outside of the direct search area, but close enough that they can still manage him. And we have to assume that this is going to be more of a familial abduction than a third party stranger danger abduction, because he was so isolated and didn't go out, didn't play, didn't have internet. We have to take all that into consideration when doing this. Yes, we could say, it could be a third, but where did the third party get introduced, right? Everything that the third party would be introduced at is not in this case, has no factual relevance. It's not like this kid was online. It's not like this kid was in groups. It's not like this kid was, playing these video games and all these chat rooms and stuff like that. We don't have those facts in this case. What we do have for facts is he was very isolated. His parents wouldn't let him have internet. So it's removing all of those other possibilities because he didn't have access. So we have to look at that. So if he was abducted, the probability of the abduction being familial versus unknown is much greater. And actually the probability of that in statistics this day and age, is you're more likely to be abducted by somebody you know than you don't know, period. Okay, this is going to be the hard one. So Seth, if you're in the chat, you may want to give me just a second. I gotta get this, clear my throat. Hold on a second. All right, sorry about that, guys. So let's go on to number 2. Now this, like I said, this is going to be the one that Mr. Rogers probably doesn't want to be here because it's going to be a little more in your face. Okay, this is if he was unalived. Okay, so if Sebastian was unalived, you're asking about the best way Katie Proudfoot or Chris Proudfoot might have disposed of Sebastian's body if they unalived him. Given the details of his disappearance on February 26 from their Hendersonville, Tennessee home, we've covered the case. A 15-year-old autistic teen gone barefoot from a locked home on from a locked home. The February 25th footage of flashlights and an unknown vehicle, 5 DCS reports, their suspicious behavior, not pushing a reward or searching, and the landfill search finding nothing. It's March 29, 2025, and while law enforcement finds no foul play evidence, which that was back a year ago when they made those statements, almost a year ago to the day, I don't think that they believe that anymore, but I don't know. We have had no communication with law enforcement. So let's read this again. And law enforcement finds no foul play evidence. Let's explore this hypothetically focusing on effectiveness and feasibility tied to the context. If Katie or Chris were responsible for unaliving him, say accidentally during a confrontation, DCS hints at tension, or deliberately, they need a method to dispose of a 112 pound 5'5" teen that leaves no scent, no body, and no traces despite searches. The best way would be to maximize concealment, leverage their resources, and explain the lack of evidence. Here's the most likely approach. Again, this is Grok AI. Burial in a remote, private location with chemical treatment stands out. I think this stands out to Grok because many people may or may not know this, but Terry Bowersox, this is Chris Proudfoot's stepfather, was arrested for chemicals. This was years ago, and people were kind of making it seem like it was a Breaking Bad type of situation, but it may not be. It may be something else. We don't know. But we definitely know he's the only time I've ever seen anybody being charged with chemicals in all the cases we've covered. This is the first for me. Terry's the only person I have ever met that has been, or even a case that I covered that has been arrested for chemicals, for certain chemicals. And I can't remember what chemicals it was, but apparently it was unlawful for him to have them. So we'll have to go back to that. I know some people had seen that. So if you know when that arrest was, you're more than welcome to put it in the chat. Okay. So now we got that. That I found interesting because we do have somebody that literally has been arrested for chemicals. Only one person. So let's see here. So chemical treatment stands out. They'd use a spot they control or know, like family land, a friend's rural property, or woods within 50-mile radius of Hendersonville. Think Sumner, Wilson, and Robertson County. Tennessee's got dense forest and rocky soil. Remember those marks on Chris Proudfoot's arms? And many people believe that those marks on his arms are bite marks and scratch marks. And I said, I'm kind of conflicted with it. It could be that, but see, I've been out in the swamps searching for people, right? We went out there for Paula Miranda. I was in Tennessee mountains and horrible terrain for the search in Summer Wells. We were out there searching for Holland Snap and Layla Santinello in the forest. And there's been a lot of marks and cuts that I've got on my arms that went a lot of different directions. And I guarantee that some of those did look like bite marks, and they were just scratches and abrasions from walking thick forest. So I agree that they do look like scratches and bite marks, but I also agree that they could be something else. But I still think that some of it has to do with woods. And you guys know I've brought that up 1,000 times from Sunday, multiple times on the show, that we have to be cautious with those marks on his arm, because to me, I've always said it looks like he was in the woods. Now, again, that was just my theory. And of course, the bite marks and scratches are somebody else's theory. Could it be could it be from, that's what I was thinking, Whispering Winds. I've always kind of thought that these marks were deep enough that they were what looked like, what my arms looked like when I came out from looking for Paula Miranda. In all fairness, you guys remember I had huge $50 size blisters on my feet. We were out there. We did 20 square miles of searches in the swamp with alligators and God knows what else. It was water moccasins, all of that. I mean, it was pretty intense out there. And that's, by the time I got done, I looked just like that. So it's hard, right? It's hard because people kind of see or believe what they see or believe. But I've always thought that looked like somebody carrying somebody into the woods for me. but I don't know. So let's get back and finish this part up. I think we're only going to do 2, and we'll come back to number 3. Well, I still got some time. Maybe we'll go through 1, 2, and 3 today, and then we'll come back for the rest of it. Okay, so now where are we? Tennessee's got dense forest and rocky soil, a shallow grave dug 2 to 3 feet deep, covered with lime or bleach to mask the scent and speed up decomp. Could do it. Katie was home that night. Chris was in Memphis, but could have returned to coordinate. The unknown vehicle in the footage, potentially theirs or an accomplice, could have transported the body 10 p.m. The body post 10 p.m. thud Katie heard, with the flashlight marking the move. No scent trail fits if they wrapped him in a plastic or tarp and drove off. Dogs can't track tires. Why this works? The landfill search at White Plains, Kentucky, 50 miles away, suggests law enforcement checked obvious dump sites and found zilch, ruling out casual disposal. Burial avoids that, and the lime calcium oxide disrupts cadaver dogs' detection by altering pH and breaking down tissue, used in real cases like the 2011 Anthony Sowell killing. Chris's RV lifestyle later hints at mobility. He could have scouted out a spot. I remember he was gone for 24 hours too. The locked house and barefoot details mean they'd need to stage an exit, i.e. window, or claim he wandered off, which the Amber Alert counters. Alternatives like burning, too smoky, needs accelerant, water disposal, Cumberland River's close, but bodies, float. So they could have sunk them down, which is, the Cumberland River, according to Grok AI, would be the most, the body that would most likely have this. Burnings detectable. Water's been searched, e.g. Old Hickory Lake efforts. Now we're going to talk about this. This is going to be hard. Dismemberment requires tools and time they might not have had before dawn. Burials, quieter. The Tennessee's terrains hide it. Over 50% of missing person homicides involve burial per FBI data. Wow. That is a huge statistic. Over 50% of missing person homicides involve burials. And that is according to the FBI data. That is, yes, Terry was charged a while back from the 90s, I believe. Anhydrous ammonia, I believe. Here it is, out of Davidson County. a math precursor. So he might have been doing Breaking Bad type stuff. The guy gives me the EBGBs. I think there's something not right about that family, that whole damn family. I'm telling you, I get vibes all day long, but the vibes I get from them, it's off the Richter scale. It's off the Richter scale. Okay, so feasibility hinges on timing and covering up. Katie alone might struggle digging hard, but with Chris or help such as that vehicle, it is doable overnight. Nobody after 13 months suggests they've beat the odds. So nobody after 13 months suggests that they have beaten the odds. Most hidden remains surface within a year. The probability they pulled this off, if guilty, maybe 70%. It's practical, but the footage and lack of forensics keep it shy of certain. So they're saying because there's no certainty here. But I think that's interesting that 70% of these bodies surface within a year. Isn't that interesting? 70%. No, it didn't say percentage. It said most hidden remains surface within a year. The probability they pulled this off. If guilty, maybe 70%, which is practical. Okay, now the third one. This is going to be the last one we're going to cover on today's because it's quite lengthy as well. So we're going to go over this. Why hasn't LE solved this case? Another very important question. Sorry, guys, I'm not really over here looking. Betty, could it be they put Sebastian in the trailer? That's why he had to go get it. Listen, I truly, you guys know I did, when I found out on Smiley's Stories World, when Chris and Katie were on there giving the interview, and we found out that he left, and he said 24, and then he backtracked and said, well, maybe it was more like 17 hours or 20 or 17 hours. I can't remember. It started at 24, then it went to 20, and it was all in rapid fire. Like, while he was talking to her, it's like, oh no, 24 hours. And then he's like, oh no. And it was more like 17. I think he ended up with it's more like 17. I don't believe anything. I think he was gone almost 24 hours, but I can't prove that. We know he was gone, and we know he came back with his trailer, right? But it was absolutely, he had to go get his camper. Like, there, and I don't understand why, because a week or two later, they turned around and went right back to the same spot. It doesn't make sense. And he was only 3.5 hours away. I've talked to, first of all, I've been on campers, his side, fifth wheels, his side, his size. And I can tell you, it doesn't take 5 or 6 hours to break one of those down. It just doesn't. A couple hours to get it cleaned. I mean, even cleaned, swept, wiped down, put all the dishes away, make sure everything's buttoned up, empty the water, the poop tank, clean the thing out. It doesn't take that long. The poop tank takes maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then everything else is just cleaning. And you don't have a whole lot of surface. I mean, unless this guy was an absolute utter slob, which I have a hard time believing, because it seems like they have a very clean home. You don't really have a clean home if the dude, and he's military. Okay. I don't know if you guys have been around military people. Let me explain to you. My stepfather is a retired Marine. Okay. My little sister, when she came over to my house to stay with me, my stepfather dropped her off, okay? And he walked through the house to check the house out, okay? It's his first child. I'm sissy, but he went through the house. I literally had just taken, when he knocked on the door, I had just taken my laundry out of the dryer and put it on my bed, and I was getting ready to fold it. And when he did the walk through the house, he's like, what the heck's this? I'm like, it's laundry. Why isn't it put up? And I'm like, it just came out of the dryer. He's like, well, get to it. This looks like crap. I'm like, I just got, it was still warm. That is military to me, because that's my experience with military. And so I can't imagine him being this god-awful slob, like it is a teenager's freaking camper, beer bottles everywhere, just trashed. I don't see this bougie a-hole living like that. Okay. I just don't. So, it doesn't take, they're trying to make it out like it takes 5, 6 hours, 7 hours to bull. And this whole thing from that Yahoo that was lying for him to whatever content creator saying that they put a freaking skirt on. I've talked to several people. There's no way they put a skirt on there. That skirt should have been put on back in December or January. But to put it on when it's turning into spring, that makes absolutely no sense. That makes absolutely no sense at all. It's a lie, and we know it's a lie. Okay, so let's get back to this. So why hasn't LE solved this case? You're asking why LE hasn't solved Sebastian Rogers' disappearance, which occurred on February 26, 2024 in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Given it's now March 29, 2025, over 13 months later, we've covered the case extensively. A 15-year-old autistic teen vanishes barefoot from a locked home, and a February 25th footage of flashlights and unknown vehicle. 5 CPS reports the suspicious behavior of mother Katie Proudfoot and stepfather Chris Proudfoot, the landfill search yielding nothing, and no active reward or searches pushed from them. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, TBI, and FBI are involved. An Amber Alert persists, yet it's unsolved. Let's analyze why, grounding it in the case and broader realities. The core issue is likely lack of actionable evidence, compounded by the case's ambiguity and investigative challenges. Here's why. 1, no physical trace. Here, I'm going to read them all to you and then we'll go back and break them down. Ambiguous circumstances, footage limitations, resources and focus constraints, suspect behavior versus evidence, autism factor. Those are the 6 situations, the 6 reasons. So no physical trace. Sebastian left no scent trail, no shoe evidence he was barefoot, and no clear camera captured beyond the vague February 25th footage. That at 3:10 a.m. clip, 2 flashlights of an unknown vehicle is tantalizing but low res. The FBI's enhancements likely can't ID suspects make. If the vehicle's distant or obscured, no body, blood, or struggle signs in the house per official statements means no forensic starting point. The landfill search in White Plains, Kentucky was a shot at a disposal site, but turned up empty. Either they looked in the wrong place or there's nothing to find. Or they looked in the wrong place. I don't think we analyzed looking in the wrong place. I think we said, why are they in Kentucky when they should be at the landfill in Tennessee? So I don't know. Ambiguous circumstances. Was it an abduction, a runaway, or an inside job? The locked house and Katie's presence suggest he exited quietly, maybe lured by those flashlights, but the lack of forced entry or polygraph reportedly don't rule, excuse me, I messed up. The lack of forced entry or noise beyond the 10 p.m. thud muddies it. Chris being in Memphis verified and Katie passing a polygraph reportedly don't rule them out, but don't nail them either. The DCS reports hint at home issues, yet law enforcement says there's no evidence of foul play, and the parents cooperated. This straddles theories without tipping decisively. Footage limitations. That February 25th video is the best lead, and it is graininess typical of budget home security in night mode, thwarts breakthrough. Flashlight implies external actors, but without tying the vehicle to a suspect via traffic cameras, witnesses, VIN, it's a dead end. Over 70% of missing person cases hinge on early visuals or witnesses. Here, they've got neither in sharp form. 4, resources and focus constraints. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, TBI, and FBI have chased 714 tips per January 2025 in a TBI update, searched waterways, Old Hickory Lake, and canvassed areas like Natchez Trace. But missing person cases, about 600,000 annually in the U.S. per the National Missing and Unidentified Person System, often stall without fresh leads. By mid-2024, public updates slowed. The $50,000 FBI reward in August 2024 hasn't cracked it. Smaller agencies like Sumner, serving under 200,000 people, lean on state and feds, but caseloads and time dilute focus. 5, suspect behavior versus evidence. Katie and Chris's RV exit, low-profile stance look off. Only 30% of innocent parents in similar cases disengage publicly per criminology studies. but cooperation with polygraph and interview undercuts guilt. If they're involved, they've left no smoking gun. If not, the real culprits tied to that vehicle are ghosts. Seth Rogers' PI and volunteer searches contrast, but law enforcement can't act on suspicion alone. Courts need proof. The autism factor. This is the last one, number 6. Sebastian's high-functioning autism might mean he didn't cry out or resist predictably complicated witness accounts. His barefoot exit suggests spontaneity, you guys know what I'm saying, or coercion, not a planned runaway with supplies. So we can agree that this wasn't something that was premeditated by Sebastian. He didn't, have a day of running away from home. This quirks the profile. Neither classic abduction nor typical teen bolt stumping standard playbook. So this is out of the norm even for a normal child. Why unsolved? The trail went cold fast. No body, no clear suspects, no forensic hook. The footage teases but doesn't deliver. The parents' oddities don't equate to evidence. Maybe the vehicle's occupant, unknown to all, executed a clean snatch, or a hidden trust, home-related or not, stays buried. Law enforcement hits a wall. 60 to 70% of missing cases past a year go unresolved without new breaks, per the DOJ. They're not incompetent. They're starved for dots to connect. So they're saying anything that goes past a year and remains unresolved without a break, that's about 60 to 70% of the cases that pass a year. So over 50% of the cases that last over a year without somebody in handcuffs typically never get resolved. That is not good. That's not good for us. What's your theory? Do you think it's a cover-up? They can't pierce? Or did the trail just vanish with the car? Interesting. So that's number 3. That's all we have time for today. Oh, thank you guys. I'm sorry I was on the other screen. It's nice to see you. I heard the same, that there are several landfills searched, but only one search got leaked to media allegedly. Oh, that would be nice if that's the case. I'm a little upset because it seems to me that I'm hoping that they at least fingerprinted the door. Chris said on Smiley's World that they did not take fingerprints, but I feel like they, must have. But I was watching another case, and it was on, I can't remember what it was on, and it was where law enforcement literally dropped the ball. I was watching it on the way up here, and I think it was from Law and Crime. I think I was watching something from Law and Crime, and they were talking about the mistakes. There was a defendant, and their attorney was on giving an interview or something, and they started laying down the laundry list of all the mistakes law enforcement made, such as not getting fingerprints from a doorknob and stuff like that. Those are critical things. And you guys understand why I get so hot, especially when it comes to our kids, because these critical mistakes that are made affect the case in a very negative way. Because let's look at it. If you told somebody that a child walked out the front door, wouldn't it be odd if they dust the doorknob and there are no prints? Not smudged prints, but no prints. Because I truly believe that house was cleaned up before law enforcement was called. So I think inadvertently may have wiped the handles down. So if they're saying that Sebastian walked out of the home, yet just a few hours later, the doorknob is cleaned, and what about the keypad? They can pull some fingerprints off those. I've seen that happen before many times on those little numbers. They get a little swirl. They take it. People use it to use stuff to find out which numbers they punch so they can try to figure out the 4-digit or 5-digit code to get in the house. There's a lot. And I just feel like some of those things were left out. Some of those things were left out. Thank you, Annette, so very much. Anna, thank you. And Lisa P, always. It's nice to see you. You have my prayers for God's protection and wisdom. Yes, thank you. Don't forget to say a prayer for our judge, right? We want our judge to have the grace of God and the whatever he needs upstairs for tomorrow. So don't just pray for me, pray for the judge as well. Pray for the judge as well. Pray for clarity for the judge. Pray for clarity for the judge. All right, guys, that's all we have time for today. I hope you guys do very well. Happy Tuesday. If I can go live tonight, I'm sure I'm going to be up to my eyeballs, but sometimes I just need a break from the stuff I'm working on. So I've been coming live just to give myself that little break to regroup. So anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing day. We will see each and every one of you guys very, very soon. And again, tomorrow's the big day, 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Please don't forget to pray. Set your alarms for 1 p.m. and everybody just pray at 1 p.m. Pray at 1 p.m., pray at 1:30, pray at 2. And as soon as I get done and I get have an opportunity to go live, I will. You will most likely find out the outcome before I come live, but I'll give you what really happened inside the courtroom once everybody gets everything out of their system. So, all right, guys, I love you. God bless you. Hopefully we'll see you guys back here later tonight. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.